Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Let's continue where we left off here, and I've been reading your comments. A lot of you guys have actually told me the testimony in this part is absolutely insane, so we're gonna see what happens. October 26, 9:45 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Were you able to sleep last night? Huh? Oh, sleep. Sure, I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours. Guten Morgen again, you two. You look like you're ready to put on a real show. That means good morning in German. But before you do, I have a good luck gift for you. The voice print analysis came back, and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial video and the tape recording are one and the same. In other words, the recording's a fabrication, so yeah, it's fake evidence, and it's probably Professor Means who made it fake. Tape recorder updated in the court record. The voice in the tape says you're a goner, just like in Junie's script. It's been identified as a fake. The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they've found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. What? Oh, who's there? Wait. Did you see who it was? No. I got a quick look, but they got away. I think it might have been Hugh. I bet he was eavesdropping. Wonder if he saw our hand. Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. I bet Robin and Box Girl were listening in too. I will make sure they don't make a run for it. That is my final gift to you. Okay, all that's left now is to reach out to the truth. Time for a mini Chords of Steel workout. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Your turn. I'm Athena Sykes and I'm fine. So we got basically 4 suspects in this case. Who's the real murderer? Or it could actually be a conspiracy. There might actually be multiple people involved. October 26th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Day 2 court is now in session. All rise.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The Sykes Brigade is totally psyched. I mean, the defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready as well. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackwell? Yes, well, moving right along, yesterday's adjournment was unexpected, yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship around today, so no funny business from anybody, understood?
Your baldness, Robin Newman and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later I shall grill them at leisure to find out whether I can charge them with perjury. You very much could, pretty much. You were lying to the court. So actually, Blackwell's actually right in that regard.
Well, this sure complicates matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now, about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday.
A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast. It cannot function as an accurate measurement of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak. Poor Detective Fulbright. I hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact.
But if that's the case, then what will we...
The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from the art room to the stage. And I mean to prove it here this day. Just like Detective Fulbright said, what else does he have up his sleeve? My understanding of this heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the bloodstain. Blood was also found on some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area. Which is to say, the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below. And though there were nary a scratch to the body aside from the fatal wound. That, too, was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage. Okay, this is not what happened. I'm convinced this is not what happened. I think that this is just a ruse. I think this is fake. The killer's just trying to make it look like the mock trial. I think the killer used that rope. That rope that's out the window. I think he wrapped the body in the flag, and I think he pushed the body with that flag across. That's what I think, because remember, that flag, the other flag besides the Governor's flag had blood on it. Why would it have blood and why would it be wrapped? It's because the body was moved in that. And also, if the body was actually moved in this cart in the mat, they'd have traces of blood on it. Because think about it this way. You have a bleeding body, like a body that got stabbed, and you are basically throwing that body from it's like a 3-floor building. You're throwing that body from a 3-floor building all the way down on the mat. And here's the thing: is even if that ice pick, that sharp instrument, the owl that they call it, even if that was in the body, if you threw that body down, from a 3-story fall and it fell on the mat, chances are the owl would just pop right out. It would just fly out at that moment. And so there would be traces of blood on the mat, and there'd also be traces of blood on the cart. But that's pretty much the easiest way to prove it, that that's not what happened. That's not very clever. I mean, it's the same exact body moving scheme as the script. And, yeah, and so, we go back is, why would she follow the script exactly? Makes no sense. It basically, points to her as being the killer. So it really doesn't make much sense. And here's the thing is, when a knife is actually stabbed into a body and the knife or a sharp object is not removed, that will actually hold the blood in. So it will actually keep the blood from actually coming out. That's why in certain situations, it depends on the situation. I'm not a doctor, but one thing I did learn in school, when I was studying law enforcement, is that if you get stabbed with something, it depends on how severe it is, and also depends on obviously what you got stabbed with, depends on where you got stabbed with, but generally, if you get stabbed with something, it's not always the best idea to pull it out. Like when you see in movies, people just pull out something, they get stabbed and they just pull it out right away. It's not always necessarily the best idea to pull it out. The reason for that is because if you pull it out, the knife is actually preventing the blood from coming out, the sharp object. You pull it out, blood is going to keep gushing out, and it's actually very easy to bleed out at that point. That's why sometimes people actually go to the emergency room without taking out the sharp object. They'll actually keep it in to keep the blood from coming out, and that's why they're ready in the emergency room. The surgeons in the emergency room are ready for that. Anybody could have moved the body that way. Your propensity to spew forth words before you think is not very clever either. Why you? Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness! It's time for you to come forth. It's gonna be Hugh, right? I bet it's gonna be Hugh. Yep, it's Hugh, I knew it. Okay, so this is the crazy testimony you guys told me is gonna happen in this case. Let's see what happens. Heh.
Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday, I told that lawyer there that I would testify to the truth. So I intend to cooperate fully in today's trial. Happy now, Miss Sykes. What's he up to now? So here's the thing is, this is probably... I have all the things that's an Ace Attorney. If you guys were to ask me, what is the most unrealistic thing in Ace Attorney? I would say that when it comes to the investigations, the most unrealistic thing is that the lawyer can just explore the crime scene whenever they want, and they can just touch evidence, and they can hold on to evidence, and they can withhold evidence, and the prosecution can withhold evidence. I think that when it comes to the investigation part, that's the most unrealistic, is like just touching all the evidence and withholding evidence. I think the most unrealistic thing when it actually comes to the trials is the fact that the witnesses lie multiple times, and that they're still allowed to testify, because when you lie multiple times, you are basically discrediting yourself as a witness. And so what did this guy do? This guy lied in the previous day, and not only that, he pled guilty, so he admitted to it. He said, I did it, and then afterwards he's recanting his confession saying, I didn't do it. So his testimony is unreliable. So any good lawyer could pretty much say at this point that we can't bring in this guy to testify because his testimony is just absurd. It just lies. It just hasn't been proven to be reliable. So if this is the prosecution's star witness, it's just not going to go well.
The court appreciates your cooperation, Miss O'Connor. Now your testimony, please.
Okay, this is gonna be good. Let's hear it. And I will say that in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, in that game, the most unrealistic thing in that one takes place over like 100 years ago, but the most unrealistic thing in that one is when they have two witnesses testifying at once. It's like a little thing that they added in like the game where you'd have two people testifying at once, and so they wanted to make it seem like it was a challenge, but you would never have two people testify. And not only that, police never interview two people at once. That rarely happens. They tend to separate people because people, when they're next to each other, and they can make conflicting statements and they can confuse each other, and so you're never gonna interview two people at the same time, and you're never gonna have two people testify at the same time. It's just not going to happen. It's more common to have 2 people interviewed at the same time, but having 2 people testify at the same time, especially in the US, that is never going to happen. What O'Connor saw. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was headed towards me. I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area, but I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was going to bring up something else entirely against your client. Never a snappy comeback when I need one. He's coming straight at us today, using any means possible. To protect the students who had to climb up the high when setting up the stage, a mat was brought over to the stage from the storehouse. Our client is the student council president. That mat is way too small. It's like, how do you know that when somebody falls, they're gonna fall exactly on that mat? Like, that's you're gonna need a much bigger mat than that. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put the mat away after she used it? Oh, there's plenty wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a fall from such lofty heights. The killer didn't use the mat, they used the rope. Ergo, the mat in question was indispensable to moving the body. It sucks being the last to know everything. I think I get it now. The drag marks we saw behind the stage were made by that mat.
If only the mat of that thickness were whipped, the body is assumed to have been dropped. It would be hard to deny a possible link to the case.
We're off to a bad start again. You sure you're okay, Athena? Game on, Hugh. Game on. I'm gonna turn your arrogant, perfect score grin into a teary-eyed frown of failure. Oh, I love that line. Okay, let's break this testimony apart. What O'Connor saw. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. Hold it, hold it. Hold it right there. What? I was just getting to the important part. Eager to unsheath your blade, Sykes Dono. Your heavy breath heaves to where I stand. Hisk, how rude. A human's breath doesn't travel anywhere near that far. So the only issue is distance. You're not denying that you're a heavy breather? I'm just saying that scientific studies have proven that it's not... Hang in there, Athena. No matter how many insults they hurl, it won't affect the judge's opinion of you. What about my own self-esteem? Let's get back to what's happened before the mock trial. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. Our client was simply putting the mat away. It had nothing to do with this case.
Objection!
That is where you are wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a 3-story fall. Hence, the mat dragged by the accused was essential to moving the body. If we win this one, I promise to donate another thick mat to the academy. Now show me how to show you the truth. You'll have my full cooperation. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and maintenance area. Why exactly? Mr. O'Connor, are you positive you were standing exactly where you said? I was between the stage and maintenance area, and she was behind the backdrop. So O is O'Connor, and J is Junie. I was between the stage and maintenance area where she was behind the backdrop. He's sticking to his guns. Wait a second. Issue here is where he was standing when he says he saw Junie. There's a wall there. But nothing I say will mean anything without evidence. Time to dig a little deeper. There's a wall there. Oh, and before you ask, I had my glasses on. Therefore, I'm positive it was Juniper. That is not an issue. There's a wall there. I remember that too.
The wall.
Objection!
I got it. It's so when the music stops, it means you had the right answer. So you saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area. Well, let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo shows a student setting up the stage the day before the mock trial. You see the big construction scene to the right of the stage in the background here. Why, yes. In fact, there was a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago. It was so noisy behind there, but I couldn't take a peek. Oh, how it piqued my interest. Exactly, Your Honor. You cannot see past such screens. That is their purpose. Now let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Aha! Since it was to the right of the stage. It should be right here, yup. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop. He's probably gonna claim he heard her next. Oh my, but the screen would have been completely in the way. That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't have possibly seen her client from this point. Youch.
Order! Order! Mr. O'Connor, have you been lying to this court?
The screen. Right. It must have slipped my mind. What? Are you telling me you, Mr. Genius, forgot something as literally as big as that? There are two kinds of memory lapses. The normal kind you mouth breathers have, and the genius level lapses of memory that people like me have. Well, your memory isn't that genius at this point. Why don't you just admit that it was a normal, everyday brain fart already?
Will the witness now please restate what he remembers, minus the lapses of memory?
Heh, that's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side of the screen.
Objection!
You are testifying that our client was behind the stage. But need I remind this court, the back of the stage is not visible from the front. To actually see our client behind the stage from the stage side of the screen, the witness himself would also have to be in the same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor. Youch. Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection!
No, what's Blackwell gonna say?
All right, Golden Boy. Is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest.
Truth? What truth?
The fact that Golden Boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
Objection!
But then the screen would have blocked his view of...
Objection!
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked indeed. But considering how smoke always wants to rise up high...
Athena, look at this photo again. Do you think... something on the other side of the screen, something high enough to see the stage, is he claiming to be on the crane? Is he claiming to be operating the crane? No way, this crane right here? I don't remember seeing a crane there on the day of the mock trial. Me neither, but it's probably safe to assume it was moved before you found the body. That's far enough, Prosecutor Blackwell. Remember, you promised.
I recall making no such promise.
So Blackwell knows something that Hugh doesn't want him to say. And this is under duress. He basically is threatening the witness with some kind of blackmail. Yeah, this would not fly in court. It was you who came blubbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information. Oh, yeah, he is pretty much discrediting his witness right here. This would actually look bad, really bad for him. What's all this about a promise? Is this about whatever Blackwell is using against him? And what's it got to do with going into the crane?
Golden Boy did not go up in the crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds.
I knew it. I knew that's what he was gonna say.
What? You mean to tell me a high school student was operating a crane?
The witness, I mean to object to the prosecutor's last statement.
There's no proof I ever operated that crane. Actually, there just might be something that proves you did. What? If this whole part-time job thing is true, I doubt it will be limited to a single day. Well, we're helping the prosecution at this point by proving he was on the crane. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too. Is this what you're thinking of, Athena? Yeah. As you can see, this photo captured the crane's operator. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Now that you think about it, it does look kind of like Hugh. I'm sorry that my camera was blocking that, guys. I didn't realize that. But yeah, it does kind of look like Hugh. And if you look carefully, he bears a definite resemblance to Mr. O'Connor. Are you serious? This is ridiculous. How very interesting. Let's ascertain whether this is as ridiculous as the witness maintains. The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light.
That's all very well and good, but just how do you propose to do that?
The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. Not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. We can clearly identify the person in this photo as the witness by explaining... his neck, because in his pictures he has something, he's wearing that school uniform, but I wonder if he has anything under that. See, let's see the neck. I think it's the neck. Hobby doesn't really make much sense. It's either neck or fingerprints. The figure in this photo is wearing a very unique object around his neck. Why, yes.
You can see it right there, but then are you saying you mean to...
Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tall collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination. No, not a chance. That would be a blatant violation of my privacy.
You are a disgrace of a man. Now start unbuttoning that collar before I hack it off.
Yeah, what's the big deal? Now let's see your neck. Guess I have no choice. Yup.
Oh my.
So where did you buy that neckband, if I might ask? I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world. Well, it sure looks like the neckband in the photo. Should we have the photo analyzed? You are one irritating lady. Fine, I admit it. I work a part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. What? But I never parallel park one-handed, but I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school.
But when you factor in all the required tests in apprenticeship period, wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane?
Oh, about that. You see, I'm a genius. So you know. What?
Objection!
Let us dispense with this inane charade, Golden Boy. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't. High school seniors are 19 at most. Thus, they fail to complete the requirements.
Well, that does not apply to you.
Does it, Mr. O'Connor? He's older than he... Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right? No, don't, please. He's older than he actually is.
Actually, Golden Boy here is 25.
What?
He took a 7-year break from school.
Wait, come again?
Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. This all right there.
Ouch. 25? You mean he's older than me?
25-year-old high school student.
Heh. 7-year break. 7 years. I've just one thing to say. There are 2 kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind you mouth breathers take, and the genius kind people like me take.
Objection!
But a genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break. I think you have that backwards, Athena. Heh. Even geniuses make mistakes. I just happen to make mine only 7 years in a row. Only Hugh could get away with using only like that.
Enough of this gibbery jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate the matter further. Considering that the body was moved in the same manner as in the script, I find Prosecutor Blackwell's claim to be quite persuasive. Does the defense care to dissuade me?
Ugh. As long as a mat was used to move the body, Junie's going to be under suspicion. Athena, just thought of something. What was Hugh doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at the time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start. That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is a really good point. What if it was already done, why would he still be in the crane? That is a great point. Yeah, why was he in the crane? Wait, you don't think... Your Honor, did he move the mat?
Yes, Miss Sykes.
I've got it. I've got an amazing idea that'll turn the prosecution's claim on its head. Little conjecture has never stopped us before.
Interesting.
Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to... move the screen. Move the body, move yourself. It's not to move yourself. I mean, I can't picture that. Let's say move the body. The body was just like it was in the script, so it must have been moved like in the script too. At least that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic, even foolish. Those are pretty strong words, Athena. You sure about this? The witness is a licensed crane operator. He could have used it to move the body.
Objection!
Well, Golden Boy, care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter, save that this does not bode well for you.
Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap? Heh, watch this. I can use a bow and an arrow one-handed. Wow, that's a crazy level of dexterity. I can even drive a crane with one hand, that's easy. But operating the crane itself is so complex, it requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this. Oh, please tell me that's a ketchup stain. Wait, remember what Junie said? That his hands were bleeding. That's what she said. You wish my hand was injured and required surgery. We don't know when he got injured. If he can prove it, that's the reason I kept my hand in my pocket all this time.
I have already verified this with the hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say.
So, how did you hurt it? See, no need to discuss that. It has no relevance in this case. Actually, it is pretty relevant.
2 hands are required to operate a complex machinery such as a crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane.
Now I'm the fool? I plan on moving the crane tonight before the mock trial, but then I got injured. Wanted to keep my part-time job a secret. I had to do it just before the mock trial instead. And here I thought this was the big break we've been waiting for. Now that the defense's sophistry is laid bare, I would have the court recall my claim.
The body was dropped out of a third-floor window to a mat near the maintenance area.
Why is nobody bringing up that the mat could have blood stains on it? Tested for blood.
Then a ball cart was used to move to the stage, see? I've been paying attention.
Hey, you better hope you're paying attention to the judge.
Well done, your baldness.
Now consider this.
The accused was sighted dragging that mat.
Ergo, it was she who moved the body. Well, I think you were on the right track, Athena. You do. Yeah, Juniper remains a prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So as a defense, you have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But... oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane?
Miss Sykes, if you have a counter-argument, this court would love to hear it. If you do not, it is time for the verdict. Isn't that correct, your baldness?
No, not yet. All I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right?
Well, that would show that the mat had nothing to do with the case. There is a sword of great renown that cuts down sophisticated lawyers. Its name is evidence.
Hisk, you don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it. What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's a weird mix of terror and creepy grin. Just focus on how the body could have been moved without it being dropped. How could anyone lower it without just dropping it? The rope. It's not like it could fly. The rope. Or maybe it could. After all, there is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. I was right. I was right. I called it. The rope. I called it. Someone could have easily used that thing.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Sykes, the court would like to see what you have for us.
All I have to do is show the tiniest shred of possibility. The mat and the ball cart weren't used to move the body. This is what was used. This. The school banner.
Take that!
The key here is the thing that ties the art room and the stage together.
Might I propose an idea?
It might do you well to tie your lips together, lest you further expose your ignorance. This isn't exactly the time for black comedy. Prosecutor Black will... Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. That wire, yep. That wire was strung between the art room and the stage, which allowed students to run or reel in the school banner from the art room. The body could have easily been lowered down to the stage via this wire. Yep. I love that when that song kicks in.
Objection!
Spare me your armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of high wire act. The body surely would have fallen. Yet there are no signs of blunt force trauma.
Objection!
It was wrapped in the banner. Oh, you surprised me, Prosecutor Blackwell. You didn't actually think I failed to account for that. I'm sure that's exactly what he thought. When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied into a pouch-like shape. And pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried?
Well, go on. Please explain.
The body was bundled into the pouch like a section of the banner and sent down the wire. Yep. The body would have been down on the stage in a flash, and there's no need for a mat.
I've heard of the phrase, carrying the banner, but the banner doing the carrying.
Objection!
I've no patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as shaky as a corpse performing that absurd high wire act, but we have blood on the banner. That's the proof right there. If you have an actual objection, then just come out and say it.
I trust you recall the bloodstains left on the art room pottery. If the wire had been used to move the body, it would have to be via the window above the quad, the one on the winch. However, the bloodstained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Ergo, The wire and banner had not at all to do with this case.
Oh. Haha. Blood-stained pottery. I remember that. This doesn't look good. We'll be back to the mat theory if you don't do something.
Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better this time than a circus act.
She could have been killed right where the pottery was. That's maybe where she got stabbed. My wire theory is true, and that blood in the pottery must not have been the victim's blood. It was Hugh's blood. From his hand. Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Did the police check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from?
Shame on you, Sykes Dunno. Have a little more respect for the constabulary. Fulbright.
Looks like they didn't check it. Oh, don't let it get you down, Prosecutor Blackwell. I knew it when I saw Fulbright's face. I knew it. Everybody makes mistakes.
Spare me your cheek. We will now, we will know not either way till the tests are run.
True, but in the meantime, I'm going to press my claim as far as I can.
Your baldness. I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant. Of course. It shouldn't take long to get the results back.
It's gonna be Hugh's blood. I bet you it's gonna be Hugh's blood.
Oh my, that was quick.
It's gonna be Hugh's blood. We're history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please. Please let it be someone else.
It seems the blood was not from the victim. What? Furthermore, a comparison with other parties involved with this case reveals
it's Hugh's blood.
That the blood belongs to one Hugh O'Connor.
I knew it. I knew it. Score. Care to explain this? I want to hear his explanation for this now. Don't worry, Junie. Just try to relax. She said she saw Hugh going down the hallway with blood on his hand. Hugh's hands. His hands were dripping with blood. Your Honor, as we saw earlier, the witness's left hand had suffered a serious injury. He sustained a wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. Then Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other in the first floor hall. It's the only explanation that covers everything.
Objection!
There's but one way now, to turn aside her blade, but do not cast the blame on me.
So, literally, we've done a really good job at creating doubt, because this is pretty much what a attorney is supposed to do, is create doubt that their client could have committed the crime.
Your grudge is with Sykes Dono, for it is she who forces me to expose your secret.
Fine, whatever. Secret? Well, how much dirt does he have on Hugh?
The court will observe this odd-looking envelope. It was inside this Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found.
The Scuttlebutts? But didn't the prosecution already claim that this envelope is the one that contained her script?
Circumstances have changed, you see. Golden Boy had hidden this from us all. Let's see here. My word, talk about the world's most painful paper cut. Indeed, you can clearly see this envelope is not opened correctly. A powerful spring-like loaded blade will shoot forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand.
So that envelope was there to create evidence, basically. So when somebody opens up the envelope, their hand gets cut automatically and there's blood. How much do you want to bet that it was Professor Means who made that instrument? I bet you Professor Means was the one who fabricated Junie's audio, and I bet Professor Means is also that one. He's trying to put the blame on Hugh. I don't think Hugh is the killer. I think it was Professor Means. I think because remember how he says it's it doesn't matter how you win as long as you get your verdict by any means possible. And so he creates fake evidence. I think Professor Means is doing this.
The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Courte.
You really want to see my script that bad? Well, you better watch out. Read it without my permission, and you wish you had it. Yikes.
Miriam wasn't kidding when she said that.
The blood on the blade is the witnesses. Our genius here tried to sneak peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness. Well,
the thing is, though, is that Scuttlebutt can actually get arrested for this now. Because booby traps are actually illegal. It doesn't matter if it's on your property, it doesn't matter if it's your item that's booby trapped. Booby traps are actually illegal. The Supreme Court has ruled this, so in the United States, you cannot use a booby trap. So, literally, Scuttlebutt can get arrested for this right now. And probably for, you know, would it be battery? I'm not even sure if it would be battery, because she wasn't the one who physically hurt him, but she caused it. So, I'm trying to think of what charge that would be. But still, she would be charged for that.
our genius here tried to sneak peek at this wrong script and paid for his foolishness.
Ouch! This guy's the worst genius I've ever seen. Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We're still got the wire theory. Yeah, I've got it. Since the blood by the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's, there's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire and banner. Therefore, the defense once again has searched the stat. You call yourself a lawyer, huh? Don't you see the glaring contradiction in your thinking? Huh?
The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out.
Oh, I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna claim that his hand was injured and so he couldn't move the body. That's what he's probably gonna claim. Heh, and you, how can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? But, whatever. It seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. If you look, the wire could actually knock both statues down. If it goes forward, it could actually do that, now that I think about it. A body sent sliding down that wire would have crashed into them. Care to explain it that way? Well, that's kind of what happened.
Why I believe he's right. The statues and the wire are extremely close together.
So the body would have collided with the statues. What if they did collide? Wait, that's it. Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. But if we assume the body crashed into them, it actually proves our theory. That would also explain that loud sound we heard while we were in the waiting room.
Oh, now that you mention it, you and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound, correct?
Objection!
Interesting. How very interesting. But may I ask just one question? When was it that you heard said sound?
It was a little after the mock trial had started. Mr. Wright and I were practically bored to tears there in the waiting room when,
Precisely. If that sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved,
he's gonna claim that Hugh was during the mock trial, that he was there.
that would place it during the mock trial. I knew it.
So, but here's the thing is, he was not the killer. It's probably Professor Means that did it. Oh, oof. Which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started. You see, right before the mock trial started, I saw the body. He said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so, then my claim that the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water. Stupid contradiction. It's going to get me and our case killed.
The focus was on just the 3 suspects, because the body was moved before the mock trial. That has been the major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case.
Objection!
Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So should we not also treat Golden Boy's testimony with some level of suspicion? Good point.
Heck. Prosecutor Blackwell is on our side, but he's figured out the truth behind this case. Well, great, as long as he's not up to something else. The statues really were broken when the body hit them. And Hugh's statement about seeing the body before the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Look me straight in the eyes and repeat your statement to me. Like I said, before the mock trial, the body was, you know...
I shall only say this once, Golden Boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body.
Yikes.
Now, out with it! Did you truly witness the body?
Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it?
You what?
I never saw the body.
Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again, and I'll charge you with perjury.
Well, you could have charged him with perjury multiple times at this point. You're an incompetent judge. That's all I gotta say about it. There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about this the whole time, and pretty much this witness's testimony is out the window right now. This is garbage. This witness has been disqualified. I'm sorry. Yes, we've exposed Hugh's big lie for what it is. But why would he lie about this to begin with?
Order! The base premise that the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. I imagine this has an impact on both the defense and the prosecution's case.
Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now at least we know the body was moved using the wire in the school banner.
Indeed. That much I shall concede, Sykes Dono. The body was moved as you stated, and in the midst of the mock trial. So both sides are satisfied then? If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have our 3 suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial is an entirely different story.
Right. All 3 suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid alibi.
Objection!
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio? Amidst the mock trial, she was the one who couldn't leave and re-enter the lecture hall. What's this about? Who is this person in charge of the audio?
It's Junie. Oh no. How could I forget? It was... Hey, what's that deal here? Why is Junie so large in this shot? Juniper was also in charge of the audio. When she wasn't in the trial, she was in the audio control room dealing with the music.
Indeed. The one who could enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio.
Hey, no!
Why, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense.
This can't be happening. Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Junie's in even deeper. No matter how you slice it, we're cooked. And here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell's on our side, at least on this issue. Twisted Samurai strikes again. Pish, Twisted. It's more like a dirty rotten.
Your baldness. It is time to put an end to this farce. The prosecution has presented a quite convincing case, but the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes.
Apollo, what are we going to do? I've got nothing left. Nothing, nada, niente. I've been trying to think of something. Drawing a big blank, too. Poor Junie. Unless we figure out something, she'll be... Objection. Well... I object to... Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you heard about the rare genius of Hugh O'Connor. He's nervous. What's he gonna say? Listen, and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime. Perfect.
Crime?
Wait, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday? Yes. Yes, we did. This had better not be another one of his enraging traps. The murder, the moving the body, the cover-up, it's all sprung from my brilliant mind. He's confessing? Well, go ahead, arrest me. The real killer is right before you. He's not the real killer. It's not him. It's Means.
Order! Order, I say! Mr. O'Connor! You already confessed yesterday. Then earlier today, you recanted your confession.
As if you mouth breathers could comprehend my genius, the end justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my, great and maddening intellect.
Objection!
Enough! The only thing maddening is the ignominy you bear for all to see. For it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime.
Ah.
There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi, for you were at the mock trial. And it is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act.
Hugh doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat. Listen, Mr. Prosecutor, calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment of the genius that transcended even perfection. Oh, I'm curious. Why am I gonna have to cross-examine him if he's admitting to the crime? Hugh's confession. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. What? That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out stealthily while my body double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent. So, where is this body double? We bring this guy in right now.
I have a question I was hoping the defense and prosecution might help answer. Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all?
No, it's not just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache. Yeah, that was just plain weird. Especially the whole thing about a body double.
Well, I'm relieved it's not just me, and the prosecution. Your baldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark, raving mad. Yes, I think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict.
You people don't believe me. It's not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity. Oh man, that's... Yeah, the funny farm just called. They want their genius back. Shut your pie holes. The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device for testimony like this? Widget's is not a weird device, and I don't waste him on ridiculous testimonies. Look how angry Widget is. Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want a verdict be passed just yet. So how about we give Widget a try? Well, this is against my better judgment, but I'd like to conduct a short therapy session.
Your better judgment? I'm a judge, and it's far beyond mine, yet I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackwell, I trust you have no objections. Prosecutor Blackwell?
Where the hell did he go? The prosecutor said, rubbish. We will, be out on a stroll, then left with Detective Fulbright. How does he get away with stuff like that?
Then I'll interpret that as meaning he has no explicit objections. Alright, Miss Sykes. You may, proceed with your, therapy session.
I've seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake. Okay, let's examine him. His emotional state. We're looking for emotions that aren't gonna make sense. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. He's happy. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose, my body double did. I slipped out stealthily while my body double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent.
What's causing happiness? Is he basically such a narcissist that he can't even admit he lost the trial, so he wants to basically admit to this crime?
Got it.
Mr. O'Connor, this is what you're happy about? Happy? What are you talking about? I'm confessing to a murder here. To call the grief I feel the severity of my crime happiness insanity. No, guess I got that one wrong. Heh. I pity you mouth breathers. You should listen all attentively to the genius of my confession. Okay, on. What is making him happy? Flipped out stealthily while my body double took. Mr. O'Connor, yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Miss Woods anymore. I already told Juniper, so I might as well tell you. I don't really care about her anymore. What? Why? Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Courte. His secret? Oh, the bribe. She wanted nothing to do with me because I disappointed her. That's why I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing, and one thing only.
Objection!
Mr. O'Connor, you feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Miss Woods free. So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions. What are you? I can hear it clearly now, Mr. O'Connor, the discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like you do when you confessed. So Hugh really was trying to protect Juniper. Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her are the real deal. But that means his confession is... Finally figured out the obvious, have we?
Why, Prosecutor Blackwell, you're back. The confession was naught but lies, save for the part about being in the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, the accused?
Ah, why couldn't you have taken a longer stroll? No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet. Then who is the body double? You can't be serious. You really expect us to believe you had a body double? Yes. Yes, I do, but if you think I did it, then prove it, huh? Well, you should be the one proving it. Either we quit here and Juniper is found guilty, or we play along with Hugh's delusion. Let's go with the least worst choice, but first let me update his testimony. What's the unexpected emotion? Flipped out stealthily while my body double took care of the trial. I had to run at the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent. Mr. O'Connor, this emotion is inconsistent with your testimony. He's sad, too. Hey, join my intellect, feel angry. Suffer sadness of the world's ephemerality and wonder at the universe's mysteries. Should have brought my dictionary to court. Wait, let me try that one again. I also suffer sadness at the futility of your efforts, but if you must. It has to be the surprised one, then. He's surprised when he says...
Got it!
It's not the surprise one either? Okay, let me skip through this here. Hang on. That means I didn't almost lose my body double. My body double did. He has no emotion on this part. Okay, no. What emotion makes no sense? Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a moment here. At least they give you infinite chances on this in, like, the testimony. I mean, it's the fact that he has no emotion here. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's... I didn't almost lose, you say. Very odd. You exhibited happiness the entire time, except during the statement. Yep. So it's that one. You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it. No, don't. Stop making stuff up. When I left the lecture hall, it was during Professor Mean's pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body. I then slipped back in just before the verdict. So you're saying you were there the moment your double was about to lose? Yes, I was, naturally. I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, I was at the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came and went through the doors there.
Objection!
Sykes Dono, how much longer will you indulge him in this charade? Well, it's true that none in the audience might see him go through either of those doors. The faculty seats on the balconies are a different story and have a splendid view. Heh, I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side when facing the front of the hall. I used the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. That means my movements were only visible to someone in the left balcony seat. But that seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. After all, it belonged to Professor Courte, and as we know, she was already dead by then. That can't be right. An empty balcony seat on the left side contradicts this piece of evidence. Yeah, it's Professor Means' seat. That's what it is.
Take that!
No idea where this contradiction is going, but I don't have any other moves at this point. Guess I'll just have to follow it and see where this takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty. What was it really? I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty. No, it was Means was in there. Means is part of this crime somehow. Means is involved in this. But what about this diagram? According to this, Professor Means was supposed to be seated in the left balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during this pre-trial speech, he would have been standing there at his seat addressing the students and faculty. Ah, no, this can't be right.
You do one no favors by exposing the falsities of this confession.
I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part is true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You gotta believe me. Doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's have you testify again, but this time don't spare any details. So, yeah, so Means is involved in this, so he's actually telling the truth. Means wasn't there, because Means was committing the murder. You got it. I'll repeat as many times as you'd like. I mean, my ingenious escapes act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer. You're not. All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not. The second floor was deserted. Why won't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. Went out through the back door without anyone noticing. Then all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room. Why is he sad? He leads into the hallway, so he's perfectly capable of moving the body. Why is he sad here?
Got it!
Why is he sad? I detected powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. It's as if you said something you shouldn't have. What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all to see. Mr. O'Connor, it's you who is revealing your inner emotions by the way you speak. Plus, I have a good idea about why you're feeling sad, because he ran for the audio booth. That's where Junie was. Ah, you're a horrible person. Can't you just leave me be? You said that you went through the empty audio control room. But that's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that somebody who was in the audio control room was... Junie.
Take that!
I know you realize there was a problem with your statement as you were saying it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room really was empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Ah. Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her. Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the end justifies the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies. Hugh's heart won't hold out until this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant his false testimony? I fear nothing now that I have lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackwell. Cut me down if you wish.
I thought you never asked. With you gone, we may swiftly proceed to a verdict.
Urgh.
Yeah. Oh, he broke out of his shackles again.
I don't want to be a poor accountant down at the detention center.
You, O'Connor, in deference to your valor, I will limit your suffering with just one clean blow.
Could you just wait one moment before you cut him down?
Silence.
Do not come between a samurai and his foe, Sykes Dono.
Eek. I never learned about this in law school. Careful, prosecutor. Remember that shocking experience you had last time.
Very well, Golden Boy may live, for now.
Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Miss Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values the friendship between the three of you more than anything. That's where you're wrong. She doesn't feel anything for me now. But what doesn't matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is no doubt news to you, but I am not and never was a genius. Sorry, but I already knew. Me too.
And don't forget me, though in all fairness, it was pretty obvious.
I thought he was a genius at first, but the stuff he said was crazy. No need to rub it in. Just shut up and listen. It all started several days ago. I accidentally learned that my parents have been paying good money for my grades.
But that's bribery.
It is. So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea. All of my perfect scores were the product of my of cold hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me.
Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding.
I've been living a lie. I don't know what else there is to say. No, genius, I'm completely worthless. A perfect 0.
Hugh. Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. That's why I wanted to clear her name by pinning the blame on me. I mean, she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away. If you were trying to help her, then why did you testify against her? You were the ones who told me not to tell the truth yesterday, so I thought if I did, it would help her. He wasn't trying to provoke us. It looks like we seriously misunderstood him, in more ways than one. At the detention center, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But the truth is, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there were something that could help me prove that to Hugh. Hey, we even have proof of our friendship. Yeah! As long as our friendship lasts, you can bet we'll be carrying them around! She just yells a lot, that's why I do that. I know, what about that proof of friendship they mentioned? Wonder where or what it is. I didn't buy it. Oh, the neck! Yes, that. That's the proof of their friendship, that. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world. That. Maybe it's... No, that's definitely it. That's band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, that band around your neck. That's your proof of friendship, isn't it?
Proof of friendship? Is that anything like a proof of purchase barcode?
In court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. It's the evidence that proves their friendship.
Oh, how very interesting. And cheap.
If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to the proof they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor's hand always goes to his neck when he is pressured. It proves he still has feelings of friendship towards the other two. It doesn't matter if I wear it, if those two... But they feel the same way too. I know they wear their friendship band somewhere. Junie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may have also just told me that others wear their proof of friendship. Where they're hard to spot. I wonder where Robin could be wearing it, but it has to be someplace that's hard to spot. Oh, I know. They must wear them in places that are difficult to see. Really? And where might they be? How about around the belly button? Or on the soles of the feet? That would be hard to see. How could they wear their friendship bands there? Oh, right.
That's right. You're wrong.
Junie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may have also just told me that the others wear their proof of friendship. Where they're easy to touch? All we have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready. Oh, the arm. Yep. Miss Newman holds her arm when pressed. And Miss Woods holds her wrist. I know Miss Woods very well. She would never abandon her friendship with you over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad.
Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh! Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I should have known better than to doubt my best friends.
I didn't kill anyone. And I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it. And it may look like I'm speed reading. Zen and the Art of Mastering the Bar exam, but I haven't read a single word.
Well, you could have fooled me. In fact, you did.
Hugh. So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I'm going to save Junie. So yes, you can place your trust in me.
Then am I to understand that the witness is recanting his confession?
Yes.
A most roundabout trial. I much prefer the turnabout variety myself. Now we are back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi, which is, in the end, the truth you've been seeking this entire time.
So we're back to square one. Now I'm exhausted and depressed. This probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. Huh. Does this mean...
Further resistance is futile. The time for a verdict is nigh.
Objection!
Please wait.
What sort of devilry are you up to now?
What if our client wasn't the only one without an alibi? The trial would continue, right?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist?
It's Professor Means. Remember, Hugh said that where Means' stand was. He said Means was not there. That's what Hugh said. And he said, I'm not lying on that part. He was probably telling the truth. Yes, we found someone. It may have seemed like a major roundabout. But Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked this case. There's no more noise. Hugh is telling the truth now. During the mock trial, the balcony seat opposite him was really empty, which now means there's one person unaccounted for. Besides Junie, the only other person without an alibi during the mock trial is Aristotle Means, a lawyer course professor at the academy. His smile is somewhat scary, as is his educational policy. It's Means.
Take that!
The balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor? That's right. How many more times do I have to say it? So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Silence!
Need to remind you, every last soul in the lecture hall heard him deliver his speech.
It could have been a recording. I know, and that's not in dispute here. Now let me explain how a speech could be given from an empty seat. It was pre-recorded. Yup, I even called it before it even appeared. What if the speech was pre-recorded? That's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony seat. He planned the whole thing out. Wait, are you accusing Professor Means? It's insane. But here's the thing is, this is pretty much the definition of murder. This entire case is pretty much the definition of what murder is. Murder is when you plan to kill somebody. And the fact that he had literally planned that in advance, that he had recorded a message, knowing that he was going to go and kill the person, that is murder. That is what people oftentimes confuse with manslaughter and murder. Manslaughter is a spur-of-the-moment killing. It's like when you just decide to kill somebody either through an accident and it's your fault, or you killed them just attacking them, but it wasn't something that you planned that day. That's what manslaughter is. And so this is murder. It's planning a killing that's to happen. This is a perfect example of a murder. Are you accusing Professor Means? It's insane. I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder. Take this to the police, he said, and tell them you found it. What? Really? Wait a second. Mr. O'Connor, did you just say Professor Means gave that phony recording to you?
Phony? The defense will refrain from hurling substantiated allegations,
But it's not. It's real. It's a fake. Well, I said he gave it to me, but what do you mean it's phony? Wow, who could have seen this development? Identifies a fake. Professor Means used Hugh to pass it on to the police. The voice shouting, "You're a goner," as recorded in this tape, was dubbed onto it using a line our client said in the mock trial video.
Why, this is an extremely crucial piece of evidence.
Professor Means gave Hugh the phony tape. If that's really true, then Professor Means has guilt written all over him. He does. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
Silence.
The seat was never empty, to us but an oversight by our dullard of a witness.
We might be able to find more people that could prove that it was empty.
An inmate who was formerly a surgeon once told me something. He said it's often all too easy to overlook critical symptoms.
Well, we're not going to overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client will be shattered. Let's check with Professor Means and see whether the empty seat was a witness oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable.
That's enough, both of you. Now here's my opinion on the matter. While a surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem, a witness's oversight, too, must not be overlooked. Thus, as to a matter whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat, I believe we must ask the professor himself.
I agree, Professor Means should be here in the gallery today.
Do as you please. Will you please state your name and occupation for the record?
Certainly, I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer's course at Themis Legal Academy, and let me add that, while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion. Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial for video right now. We just need to take another look at the speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this? Very well. If that's all you're interested in, please proceed, Miss Sykes. We need to find some sort of evidence that shows this speech was pre-recorded.
Alright, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video.
Okay, we're looking for evidence that the speech was pre-recorded. Good afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come. Oh no. Forgotten how long and boring his speech was. Ziz.
Wake me up once this is over.
Hey, no fair. Hey, we're looking for something. There's gotta be something here that proves this was a recording. The experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult. Ah, you there, wake up. Pay attention. Huh? Eek. I'm awake. Isn't that right, Your Honor?
Huh, what? I'm awake too. Wide awake, see?
Ziz. Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. And here's the thing is, during any kind of lecture with a lot of students, there's always going to be one student zoning out. It's almost always going to happen. So that doesn't prove that it's not a recorded message. You know, think about when you're in a class, like 30, 40 people. There's always one person that's not paying attention. There's always one person that's zoning out. And so that's pretty much, he recorded that on purpose there. He didn't make a name. He just said, hey, you pay attention. So that could have been directed towards anyone. He just knew somebody wasn't going to be paying attention. Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. Pay attention and you may make a difference one day. Now let the mock trial begin. The white lady. Wait. The pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. That.
Look at the... In court, it's yellow. And that was the Lady of Justice. It was swapped. It was a recording. Right there, there's the proof that it's a recording. He says White Lady of Justice. This is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes. He's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears. Listen, Sykes Dono, if you have subjected me to this epic study in tedium without purpose, Taka will feast on your tongue after I cut it out. Eek. But you were asleep the whole time.
Well, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about that speech?
Yes. Can I please hear that last part again? Once again, our pure White Lady Justice will be watching over all of you. It's that's it. There! I finally found what we needed. Professor Means, I have only one question about your speech. Why is the last part we just heard contradict with this?
Take that!
The professor said the pure White Lady Justice will be watching over them. But the Lady Justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's as gold as can be.
I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to test its authenticity.
I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now it's true that this statue is pure white. I'm scared to see what Professor Means' angry reaction is going to be. But it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is the replacement.
Oh well, that's a shame on every count.
Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one. Meaning the professor would have made a mistake in his color if he'd been present. It seems that I have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like? Well, I was in a balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white.
I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence of speech being pre-recorded.
It's definitely suspicious.
We had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall.
No, wait. There's got to be something that can prove that the speech is pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It was a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It was only a little over 10 minutes. It felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure out how long it was? Easy. There's a timestamp in the top right. All you have to do is subtract the time. Let me move this down a little bit so you guys can see. Subtract the time from the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes from 10-minute mark to 20:35. Wait a second. I could swear I've seen the same interval of time listed among the evidence. Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech time to show that it was pre-recorded. Seen the same interval of time listed amongst evidence. The speech goes from the 10-minute mark to 20:35. Second. Wow, look! This is it. Voice print analysis. Is the voice shouting, "You're a goner, belong to Juniper Woods"? The voice is a perfect match. Testing is underway regarding signs of a post-recording editing. The tape is about 10 minutes, 35 seconds of noise requiring further testing. It's this.
Take that!
I would like the court to take a look at this.
And this is?
The voice print analysis that proves the voice in the tape recorder belongs to our client.
Yes, but didn't we just establish the voice in the tape recorder was a fabrication?
We did. But what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there.
Noise!
Yes, the defense believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased.
And what do you hope to prove by that?
The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Professor Means began his speech? That would be exactly 10. Now let's fast forward to this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video's timestamp now reads 2035. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone. Right, subtract 10 minutes and you get 1035. 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. The same as the noise in the tape recording. That can't be a coincidence. In law enforcement, you learn that there's no such thing as coincidences. I assume you all understand what this means. Professor Means' pre-recorded speech had been where the noise is now.
Silence.
You seem rather confident considering this is a mere happenstance match of numbers.
But is it really just numbers? The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. The police are analyzing the noise as we speak. It won't be long until we know what was originally there. Now I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording. By pinning the crime on Junie. Well, he's not gonna get away with it. Not on my watch.
Miss Sykes. I believe you are well aware of my methodology.
That's starting to scare me a bit.
Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offered to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened.
I'm trying to think like what kind of accent he would have. He would kind of have like a fancy philosopher's accent. All I've studied are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony.
Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth.
Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good.
I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean, and mean what I say by all means.
This is starting to scare me. I think Professor Means is probably the scariest killer I've encountered so far in this game. Professor Means' testimony.
The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, and by necessity secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial.
Why didn't you tell us that before, that it was pre-recorded?
You denied it. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do.
Yeah, humane.
Oh my, so you're saying the defendant threatened you?
This has to be a lie. I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true.
On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teaching that states that the end justifies the means.
I don't believe you.
When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her two friends innocent. Her two friends? The witnesses? Correct. Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all three walked free. All three were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end.
You no doubt had high praise for her ruthless tactics.
Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her, despite her threatening me. There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court. But alas, those days are over. Now in the defense of justice, order, and all that is good, the end justifies the means.
I'm so sick of hearing that phrase.
No, it truly grieves me so. I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality.
That does it. He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark age of law, it's up to me to fight it.
Why so silent, Sykes Dono? Something the matter?
This is a court of law. It's no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm going to let the evidence do the talking.
Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to resetify this situation.
Now go ahead and resetify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is. Professor means his testimony.
The defendant came to me with what she said was very important and by necessity secret.
I doubt our client will come to you with something like that.
You have a point there. If only Professor Courte had been alive, I suspect Juniper would have gone to her instead.
So, our client came to talk to you after Professor Courte was dead.
Let's go through this step by step, shall we? First, Juniper came to me that day. He asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial.
Are you suggesting that it was our client who told you to fake an alibi?
You have every reason to be surprised. I too was shocked when she told me that. Simply put, Juniper has a secret that she wished to protect that badly.
And here's the thing is even if what he's saying is true, he's gonna get arrested because he's pretty much an accomplice if he's even admitting to it. That's what he doesn't realize. He's not gonna be a professor anymore. Is he kidding me? That lie couldn't be further from the truth. The problem is, how am I going to expose it?
It was an earnest request from our outstanding student. How could I possibly have refused? Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court.
Did you consider that a threat?
Yes, but it's now that you to whom she has passed her demands on to. Miss Sykes, you must realize that you two are being used by Juniper.
What?
Your Honor, I ask that you two do not let her feigned weakness and innocence fool you. Juniper Woods is quite clever and extremely tough. And perhaps, most important of all, she's a fervent follower of my teachings.
Your Honor, the witness's testimony nothing but an attack on our client's character.
Very well. Objection sustained.
That is true.
So be it. Nevertheless, the fact that she threatened me is immutable. He also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording.
Well, you pretty much are, if this were to believe this. How could you overlook such a threat? As a teacher, it's your duty to discipline students.
Yes, well, perhaps I do have some serious reflection to do on this matter. I suppose it was just wishful thinking on my part. I want to believe that Juniper hadn't actually committed murder, and that she hadn't meant to threaten me. Really, please do explain. Long had I waited for a student who would embody my teachings. Does the witness realize what he is saying? Surely you must see the true meaning in my words. I am merely staying true to what I teach, and my methods are but a reflection of the times.
Oh wow, his way of thinking is really warped, but I haven't heard any inconsistencies yet. I wouldn't be so sure. Really. The more he tries to avoid logical inconsistencies in his testimony, the more likely we'll see inconsistencies between his actions and words.
It is a dark age in which we live, and there is much I would like to say on the matter. When I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do.
Yeah, BS. Honestly, I don't think he was gonna defend her. I think he was gonna lose the case for her. You were trying to protect our client? Yeah, right. He just said what I said. He'll say anything to pin the blame on Junie.
What a frightful look. I would ask that you not glare at me so. I have nothing but admiration for how Juniper was willing to go as far as to threaten me. That is why I'm protecting her by any means possible. She has been a model student.
Liar, trying to pin the blame on her. How am I going to get to show what he's saying isn't what he's really thinking?
You cannot possibly overturn my claims, so isn't it about time you admitted defeat? After all, if my unassailable logic is not truth, then what is?
He thinks I'm going to give in to his pack of lies. He's got another thing coming. I'm going to find a hole in this story. It's the last thing I do. Even though he's rotten to the core, he's a total pro. I mean, that's all made perfect sense. Yeah, but you can't believe a word he says. He's making this up as he goes along. He'll trip up on his own words yet. Time to see how consistently the professor's testimony matches up with actual actions. So yeah, Professor Means, out of all the characters that all the bad guys that we've encountered in the game so far, all the murderers, he definitely has the highest IQ out of all the killers. Maybe he's kind of comparable to Kristoff, but I would say he probably has the highest IQ out of all the killers. The defendant came, so there's something wrong with his testimony. Let's see if we can find it. The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, by necessity secret. He asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. When I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the main thing to do. Wonder what this burnt Gaviner's flag has to do with the murder. It's important somehow. He recorded my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Come to the audio room during the mock trial. Yeah, but this contradicts his statement. If he was trying to help her, why would he create this?
Objection!
Ah, no, it's probably my first mistake of the case so far. I think it can be used as evidence because it's you just bring it up. It's that he created that to make her look bad. Wait a second, the map. Faculty seat. Maybe how would he get to the audio control room?
Objection!
No. Damn, I've already made 2 mistakes so far. I've been doing so good. Okay. His testimony is hard. It definitely is hard. There's something here. Consult. Try that. You mind letting your, slightly senior partner help you out a little now? If you insist. Actually, I could really use the help. Well, I find a statement suspicious. You should find the answer if you take a good look at the evidence. Thanks, Apollo. I could get used to this more humble version of you, you know. This is the suspicious statement. It's the humane thing to do. The tape recorder, I mean, he would protect Juniper, but he made a recording that, you know,
Yep, that's it. So it looks like I was right. I was right. I was just showing the evidence in the wrong statement. But basically, yeah, he was saying he was trying to help Miss Woods, but he created basically a recording that was blaming her. So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods? Ha! That's nothing more than a bald-faced lie. No offense, Your Honor. Such defamation of my character and your hair follicles. Your Honor, it is an outrage.
Miss Sykes will clarify her statement, but leave my hair follicles out of it this time.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now please take a look at this. The witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it."
There was no whispering slyly or otherwise involved. I simply did that out of kindness.
Objection!
Tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the blame of the murder on our client? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions, only lies to protect yourself with while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law. Why, you little... You dare call my teachings and methods lies? My god, okay, yeah. This is the real Professor Means. Themis Legal Academy is a proud institution. It is the most powerful in the world. You'll never forget what true education and lawyering means once I'm through with you. Professor Means, what's with your hair? Quiet! No talking in class. Ow. That's assault? Eyes and ears up here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. We will begin with roll call. Athena Sykes. Huh? Oh, here? Apollo Justice. I'm fine. Here? Fool! The proper response is here, without any extraneous information. Ouch, here. Next. Your Honor. Here? See, class? That's the proper way to answer. Simon Blackwell. I said, Simon Blackwell. Are you here or not? Blackwell doesn't care. There's always one, isn't there? Well then, I'll just mark you absent. Now get out of my class this instant. Get out. Very well, if that's your wish. Who am I to define my homeroom teacher?
Is that such a good idea? Prosecutor Blackwell is free of his shackles?
Ah!
It just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinarian committee. But is that really so shocking?
Constabulary lapdog to teacher's pet. What a malleable mutt you are, Fulbright. Very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian. Alright, class is now in session. Why do I have the sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomachache? Main point, Juniper is the killer, I'm innocent. Pay attention, I'm not the killer. Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you better be listening.
Objection!
But Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the one who could have moved the body during the mock trial. Please note, I was not at school. What? Athena, you disappoint me so. I think you would label me a murderer. Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. But I was already at home by that time. So how could I have been involved in this crime?
Objection!
Professor Means, can you really prove you had already gone home by that time? Can you prove that I was still at school?
No. No, I can't.
So you admit it.
Well, you earned extra credit for your honesty. Well, we have that picture of being 6 p.m. there.
But you have also earned yourself laboratory cleaning duties until you graduate.
So yeah, this is the, this is one of the scariest Ace Attorney villains I think I've ever seen. Hugh, I do enough of that at the office. What the hell? No way, man! I totally object! So remember, I know what this is gonna be. Robin was with Professor Means. See this? That's Professor Means in the left corner, 601, 603. Robin was with Professor Means, so Robin is probably gonna say that the professor was with her. Robin? I can't believe I fell for the professor's silver-tongued lies.
Why you? How dare you talk about your teacher like that?
I'm not listening to you anymore, man! No way, no how. Now, I have a confession to make. You know those 2 statues that were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself! The statue's on stage. Do I want to know where this is headed? I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time to finish the other one. So, I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell. Right, and it would have been way past 7 p.m. before he could have finished.
Professor Means was still at school. This is incredibly important testimony.
What I think Professor Means is gonna do is he's probably gonna say how he knew about the script. The professor told me, I'll take care of it. Excuse me. I thought my parents would have let me be an artist if I said I made both statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin.
Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, you're head honcho among the delinquents. Do something.
That's the first time I'm actually happy the bird is attacking someone.
Yeah, and who's in charge of this class pet around here? Not interested, but if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do. No swords at school, all weapons will be confiscated. Nurse, where's the school nurse when you need one? It would seem Sykes Dono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case, you would do well to draw your staff quick as lightning. Very well, then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served, old school style. What does that? Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please.
Blackwell knows he's guilty. Blackwell knows too. Professor Means' work of art.
Now pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the 2 statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly, meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I possibly have time to go to the art room and commit murder?
He did it. He definitely did it.
You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Precisely. She said to herself at the detention center yesterday. Her defense team was there and heard her say it too. Don't try to deny it now.
That evening, I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. It was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. They were quite large, and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell. Oh, right. The professor was there when the matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It will probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it will be incredibly difficult to finish it in that short a time. Ah, that didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means. Professor Means' work of art.
Now pay attention, Robin. Took over half a day to complete one statue.
Hold it!
Miss Newman took over half a day? Can you please be a little more precise than that?
Ah, what a wonderful question. She was having quite a tough time, you see. Prosecutor Gavin's statue alone took her from the morning hours into the evening. Well, it is rather a large statue after all. Don't be silly. It merely exposes differences between student and teacher. I, however, finished most of the other statues between 7 and 8:30 p.m.
Hold it!
Most of the other statue. What exactly does that mean?
Robin created the basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue before the last bell rang. I, in turn, completed the rest of it.
I see. In academics as well, art learning the basics is incredibly important.
In short, you skipped the most important part of statue making, didn't you? Why, you insolent little... It is the practical applications built upon the basics that take so much time. Professors such as I mastered the basics of a long time ago. Unlike Miss Fancy Pants here, who lacks all lawyerly fundamentals.
Oh, quiet you.
Now, do you understand? I did not leave that stage until I was done. Well, Miss Sykes, you accept the witness's claim.
Not in your life, Buster.
No, I don't. I know there's more to this. I won't stop until the truth comes out. The more you struggle, the more you sink so much legal quicksand, so to speak. I used the world's ultimate technique to complete the statue by 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m.
Hold it!
Maybe our client only thought she saw the statues.
Silence!
A pity for you, but we have already confirmed it with the accused. She's on record as having seen both statues.
Yeah, that's true. Just thought I'd give it a shot.
I have the ultimate in courtroom techniques. It is absolutely airtight. I will bury you. This will be your final resting place, along with all who believed in you.
There's no way to get to this guy.
You better pay attention. Pay very close attention. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second.
Hold it!
Why were you in such a hurry?
In a legal world, your body is your capital. The early bird gets the worm. That's why I get to bed at 9 p.m. each and every night. That's why I was working as fast as I could. I didn't want to miss my bedtime. Well, ready to concede that I never left the stage?
Well, Miss Sykes, you accept the witness's claim. Not in your life.
No, I don't. I know there's more to this, and I won't stop until the truth comes out.
Better be careful, Athena. You don't have anything. It's probably best to just grin and bear it for now until we find something to nail him with. Well, but...
When will you cease this nonsense? I'm quite busy today, as I was on the night of the crime. How could I have possibly had the time to go to the art room and commit murder?
Hold it!
Yeah, but you could have taken a short break or something.
Preposterous! I didn't even have 10 minutes to spare. Not even 5 for a visit to the lavatory. Let me ask you, Your Honor, do you find anything wrong with my claim? So far, it appears that your statue making was quite a difficult chore. And I see nothing that could overturn your claim that you never left the stage.
The art room is only a few steps away. What's the plan? All I can think of is pressing him like crazy. It's all I can think of, too. We'll just have to seek out a hole to exploit. Statues were own eyes at 8:30 p.m.
Maybe our client only taught us other statues.
Hold it!
Okay, I'm gonna... Let's say I accept it. I guess I concede. I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time. Ugh. I concede that Professor Means never left the stage. Ha 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 ha. That's right. But what took you so long? I was there at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime. Not gonna give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Not yet. The defense still has an objection. Athena, you thought of something. Well, as I said, not yet. Oh, so it's time for legal smoke and mirrors. Not yet, Athena. It's not time to quit. It's all times like this when it seems like there's no way out that you have to... Yeah, I have to turn the case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, I should focus on how he could commit the murder without going there. It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. How he could commit the murder without going there. How he could commit the murder without going there. But I'll use any means necessary. Even casting stones. I'll distract if it'll distract her. Ah, who brought this bird to school? Sykes don't know. If I hear one word of usual jibber jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between these two key facts? I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time. The only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait. That's it. Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the... crime scene? The murder happened in the... The murder happened on stage? But then why would he host the body up? Unless he was trying to make it look like the art room. That was his backup plan, was to use the rope in case... Now, in case the bed theory, the mat theory failed, he would use that instead. I think that's what it is. Crime scene. If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer. Ridiculous! The defense has become utterly incoherent.
Objection!
No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was. Continue, Sykes Dono. Look, Blackwell's interested. Okay, the murder was actually committed here. The stage. Am I right? Let's see.
Take that!
The greatest role in this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all. The murder occurred in the art room. Silly girl, when the body was found, there wasn't a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed. There wasn't any blood on the stage, really. But there was something on stage at the time of the murder that's now bloodstained. The school banner.
Take that!
It's true, there was no bloodstains on the stage floor. But there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this. This school banner. No blood would have gotten on the floor if this was under the victim when she was killed.
Oh my, that's quite a compelling theory.
Silence.
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense.
That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go? Blood getting on there when the body was moved by wire. Wire makes more sense now. I know where the rest of the blood is. I know where it is. Very good, Simon. Tell me what's your first choice for higher education. I know where the blood is, guys. Think about it for a moment. Think about it. Where is the rest of the blood? I know where it is. Want to know where it is? I'll show you. This is where the blood is. This. The burnt fragments of the Governor's banner that was tossed in the incinerator and later found by Miriam. It was on this. This is where the rest of the blood was. That's why it was burnt, to get rid of the evidence.
I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection!
Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You do?
If there was only a trace amount of blood on the school banner, then there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what soaked up most of the victim's blood. The Governor's flag.
Take that!
Why? It looks like there's some other piece of fabric on the school banner.
It's the Governor's banner that had been specifically made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth. And only a small amount would have soaked through the school banner below. So, it makes total sense for the school banner to have a little blood on it.
So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it.
The Governor's banner was like a dishcloth. Surely it was at least towel quality.
Simon, don't just stand there. Do something.
Silence.
Sykes, Dono. You are learning to wield a blade quite well. But how will you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large bloodstain was detected in the art room. But why would there be blood if the murder occurred on the stage you claim?
Remember, that wasn't Hugh's blood. That was Hugh's blood. The blood stain in the art room was faked. How? I'll tell you how. All that was needed was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we just finished discussing. The flag. The killer used this to bring the victim's blood to the art room.
Take that!
To think you stoop as so low as to present mere garbage to this court.
Kristoff's gonna be pissed when he finds out about that. It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer, seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked Governor's banner to the art room. Then the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. It makes perfect sense.
Order! Order! This is quite a development. The thing, the body was never actually moved. Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial? If it wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statues, then what was it?
I hadn't thought of that. That loud crash was in the body hitting the statues. And what was it indeed? The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wire in it. If that's true, I know what I have to find. It's the statue. Something that was in the art room before the murder, and then the statue. The object that was sent down the wire to crash into the statues was... Lady Justice.
Take that!
That statue! Yes, I believe it was the statue that broke the other two, not Professor Courte's body. The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Courte accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it as you see here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence.
Perhaps you are onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scraphead relic in such a tedious manner? Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming.
You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are.
Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi of his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice moved in order to... hide the body. No. Point us to the body, or interrupt the mock trials. Not hide the bodies, definitely not that one. Point us to the body or interrupt the mock trial. Think about this one carefully. Did the noise interrupt the trial? I'm trying to think. Did it? No, it's to point us to the body, I think. Professor Means uses pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial, because it didn't interrupt the mock trial, I remember that. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cementing his alibi.
Ah, that's quite a persuasive argument. For a while there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says, and what he means by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until the next day. Countless students passed the stage, so they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial. The body would absolutely be found. So answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by,
If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered, and of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage. This is not good, Athena. Our claim is that, this close to being beaten to a pulp.
no. We've come so far.
Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be.
Just wait a minute. Where could the body have been? How did he do it? How did he hide the body that nobody could see it on the stage?
Poor Juniper. She must seriously regret having to ask you to defend her.
How could he have hidden the body on the stage?
And to add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. Surely, you haven't forgotten that little fiasco. Athena Sykes' attorney's badge is just for show. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer.
This isn't over.
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure it doesn't happen then, won't I? Don't tell me I failed once again. failed to save someone near and dear to me. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer, and even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again? What was that? Was that like a flashback or something? Athena, what's wrong? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax, Athena. Breathe. Not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Judy. Couldn't protect you like I said I would. You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me! It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against Hugh. And that's not all. Done some serious unforgivable things. Heh, what's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important. But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... It's not over yet. Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie. I know you better, than most people, Athena. And I know you never surrendered to the dark age of the law like the professor did. Thank you, Junie. But I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence!
Stop your bleeding this instant. You look like an utter fool. Prosecutor Blackwell? There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you-know-who. Ha ha ha. You're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers, for whom the end justifies the means. Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him. But, Apollo, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's a truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your other defeat. Okay, now it's on. The final part. Professor Courte wasn't this. We're gonna take means down once and for all. Professor Courte wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body there from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's think along those lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from its hiding place? Well, let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using this span of time to fake his alibi created. Move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Professor Means could have removed the body from its hiding place is...
during the mock trial. It was during the mock trial specifically. While Junie, when Junie wasn't there. No, Junie was in charge, so... yeah, okay. During the speech. Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location. I thought he was just moving it when she wasn't there, just to, I was thinking too much into it, to pin the blame on her. Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. Professor also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before. Specifically... white statue. Yep, that's it. During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the White Lady Justice in the school banner, and seen it zipping down to the stage with a crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. Was there anywhere to hide a body on that stage? Doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be someplace. Behind the stage? Wait a second. How about something that should have been finished but was only mostly done? Something that was used to cover the body up. But it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged on stage. And that way no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. It was already on the stage and capable of concealing a body. The right statue. The body was hidden by right statue. That's what it was. Because remember, he was in charge of making the statue. The Mr. Right statue was never actually finished. The body was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside, cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the right statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night. Yes, what an impressive feat that was.
Objection!
No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work. The murder of Professor Courte.
Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow.
He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Right. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked just like a statue.
What?
I second that. What?
Now this is getting interesting. No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection!
Well, never know until we try. Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo. Time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Right. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. And now I want you to wrap me in a cloth, so that I look like a statue. I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth?
I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice.
Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor.
Alright, I think that about does it. That's how he hid the body. That's genius. That is genius when you think about it. Well, what do you think? No one would suspect that. What do you think, everyone? Do I look just like the statue of Mr. Right or what? Looks like some random person to me. Weren't the statues a pair of busts? Phoenix Wright has the spiky hair on the back of his head. Forget the hair. The statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway. You gotta hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait. That's it. The hands. Her arms were raised over her head, and there are dark bruises around her wrists. Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something. The marks on her wrists indicated she'd been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Wait, you're not, into this kind of thing, are you? What? No! Besides, it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already. Professor Courte's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied? In an objection pose. Both of my hands in objection pose. You sure? What about the spiky hair on the back of his head? The head. Oh, I know. The boss is right there. Go pull out some and you can glue it on. Okay, I'm on it.
Objection!
Ouch, ouch. What do you think you're doing, Apollo? Sorry, Athena. I couldn't do it. Don't be such a wimp.
Ah, how unfortunate, and I was so looking forward to seeing where that was headed.
Oh, no, it's not an objection pose. Okay. It's all Apollo's fault. Guess I'd better think of something. Hang on a second. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given that the hands were tied? How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied? Behind my back. Behind my back or behind my head? Behind my head, I think it might be. Yeah, behind my head. That's how the body is. Apollo, tie both of my hands behind my head. See? This makes it possible to fake the spikes in the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but then what was about the statue's arm? With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the objection pose like this. Can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? The arrow. She has the little book in her shirt pocket.
right, there was an arrow sticking out of her side, so I was right, it was the arrow. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side. Are you crazy? Fine, then go get some duct tape, rapido, schnell, that means quick in German. Alright. I don't need to know the other languages to know bossy when I hear it. And if you put the cloth over it... Hang on, the fatal arrow to the side, it might look like his hand is pointing, like objection. Is that... Spiky hair created from 2 hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now cover me with that cloth. Remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Mommy, the arm's too short. Shh. Remember your inner voice, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. But... what else could you use for the arm?
Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you, if only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. After all, she's put me through, she owes me an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me again, and the penalty, will be doubtfully painful. Oh, God. Oh, yikes, I better get it right this time. Think, Athena. Think. Professor Courte was murdered when she stopped by the stage to see Professor Meeks. It wasn't premeditated. He must have used something close at hand in his little ruse. Apollo, show me those stage setup photos again. Like that, right now? Okay, hold on. Please, please, please be in this photo. I see it. It's his globe. That's what it is. I saw it right away. It's the globe. I'm gonna save just in case, but I'm pretty confident that it is the globe. It has to be the globe.
Take that!
Got it. I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Right.
This is absurd. There is no such thing in this photo.
Heh. Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Staff! This is the spear of a great legal warrior.
Whatever. Just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome, Okay, go for it, Apollo. Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
Objection!
Look at that. I'll lower my camera here. It looks just like that. It's Phoenix Wright, look! It's that famous lawyer. That's definitely him. I know that pose anywhere. We did it, didn't we? Ha 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 ha! Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into an area of brilliant golden light.
Golden light, all I see before me
Is the pink specter of a man. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! That's just because Mr. Wright likes the statue. He's possibly, tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink. Ah, that joke deserves a pink slip.
It seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness.
Ah, the resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Objection!
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust into the victim, all I have to do is... No, not Prince. He's obviously gonna have his Prince on it. See if it's a staff or a spear. Test the spear for blood. That's what I'm saying. We assume the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it.
Your Honor, a brief recess if you will.
We're right. You know, the thing about that is you're a law professor, and you would think that rule number 1 is you get rid of the incriminating evidence against yourself. And yet he didn't get it. He still held on to it because he's a massive narcissist and he thought that he was going to get away with it.
By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? What's wrong with a not-guilty verdict? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Objection!
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. And so, no matter how hard he tries to wipe off the blood, it's almost impossible to completely wipe off blood. You would need so many different chemicals to do that. Bleach especially. There'd be some traces of blood left on it. Now I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate. Bathroom detail, huh? Retake bar exam. 30% salary cut. Dismissal. I think that was the Governor symbol that he drew.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what has become of our witness, Aristotle means? It is as Sykes Donald suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to this heinous crime, all of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there.
Great. He'll teach felons that the end justifies the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was?
I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. Why not a former dentist? The motive was that he didn't like the way the professor was teaching it. The professor taught that you always seek the truth. He was teaching you that the end justifies the means no matter what.
I eventually had him put pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the ones taking bribes. Oh, he was taking bribes. The victim had suspended him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on that stage. The result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court.
So wait, did Junie... he was the one taking bribes. The victim suspected him after a report from the class snitch. So Junie never suspected him?
The fool like Newman had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own owl in order to protect in order to.
Heinous crime this bobber from the fool like Newman had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own owl in order to.
Make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant.
But that scrap of paper of Hugh's name had the exact, had the same mark as Professor Courte's planner.
Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class.
Really? So then...
Indeed, once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This too was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. Know that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes. To think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is a dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. And the first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant Juniper Woods.
Not guilty, we did it! We did it. That was a crazy case. Yeah, Blackwell, near the end of that trial, Blackwell definitely knew that the professor was guilty.
I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you, if we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can.
Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Courte's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today.
Court is adjourned.
Yes, I don't think Blackwell is actually a bad guy. I think he's just misunderstood. October 26th, District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 3. Thank you, Athena. I really mean it. Haha, it was nothing really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that. I don't know. You look pretty wound up there at the end, literally and figuratively. You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you, too, Apollo. Don't mention it. The way you were always there for Athena when she was in a bind. And at the detention center, where your smile gave me hope when there was none. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down on my peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person. Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do. And I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench. I promise you I'll get there someday. That's why, until that day, Guys, I got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something? No, it's okay, I think. So what's the big news? The school festival was supposed to have been cancelled after what happened, but... we just got a call. In memory of Professor Constance Courte, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow. Really? Alright.
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the guitar serenade.
I think she's in love with Apollo. But I didn't expect, yeah, I did not expect Clavier to have that kind of accent. I thought that Clavier was gonna have a heavy German accent, that's what I thought, because he's always speaking German. Themis Legal Academy, 3F Lecture Hall. Wow, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. Hee. I think you and Robin are getting a little, carried away. Ah, your singing voice, Juniper. It could melt my Heart. Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Haha, just remember the objection post is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win, although Robin had you for a while there. I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. I'm going to make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and Hugh won? Level-headed lawyer course genius and hot-blooded prosecutor course student. We'll go head-to-head in a mock trial battle with the She-Devil's Black Heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen? This is Juniper. There's something I've been wanting to say to you. Huh? Oh, is he going to do what I think he is? Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends like we've always been? Huh? Best friends. You, weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial? No, I was going to confess. And I'm not a genius, and I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial. Whoops. Listen, Hugh. You too, Robin. Miriam. Me too. Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. I've been thinking. It's up to us to put an end to the Dark Age of the Law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in. I wouldn't have it any other way. Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship. You bet. And what about your BFF, Apollo? Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? Yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office. Hey, no talking about me behind my back. So what kind of guy is he anyway? Well, if I had to describe him in one word. And so after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well. Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. Discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? So I guess it's gonna be answering why he, it's gonna be answering why he left the law offices in the next part. But yeah, there we go. That was my favorite case so far. I gotta say, that was my favorite case. I really do enjoy a lot of the cases, but in Dual Destinies, that was definitely my favorite case so far, is that one right there. So I'll have the next case, because there's still more cases, more murder cases. I'll have the next case up in a few days, guys. I'm gonna take a little break here, because we just finished this, so I'm gonna, focus on LA Noire and Fallout in this time. But I promise I'll have the next part up in a couple days. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this series, do drop a like. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.